Hey there, welcome to my YouTube channel, and I go by the name T Mix. Quick one, today I'll be showing you how to use FL Studio Sampler like a pro in 2025. There's a lot with FL Studio Sampler, and most people that don't really know how to maximize the use of FL Studio Sampler. So if you are ready for this video and you want to learn, kindly hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed, like this video and share. Let's dive into FL Studio and you see how much you can maximize the use of FL Studio Sampler. If you want to see your FL Studio Sampler, you can just come to your channel rack and I have some samples here. They are drum kit samples. So if I double click any one of them, like this kick, the sampler will pop up and you're able to see the sampler. So what does a sampler does? A sampler helps you to see the attributes of the sample you are working with, and you can modify the sound of this sample from your sampler. So there are some third-party sampler, but this is an inbuilt sampler from FL Studio, and this can do a lot for each sample you load into it. So what you can see here, like it's showing me the attribute, the waveform of the sample I'm loading into it. So it shows me this attribute of the sample, and still yet I can modify this attribute. I can modify the sound. So let me show you what your sampler can do and the kind of different samples that we have. So this is my kick. This is a kick. You can see the attribute of this. You can see the waveform of this kick. So let me load up another kick. Can you see the waveform is different? The waveform is different and the sound is different. So the sampler is showing me how the waveform look like and how it sounds. Another kick again. Can you see the waveform? The waveform is different, and this one sounds like a bottom drum, a bottom kick. You can hardly hear it. This is the kind of kick that is mostly heard in songs like amapiano sound. So you can see the waveform. I can modify it. I can make it to sound different ways. So I'm going to show you a lot of things that can change the sound even before you start recording, instead of you using plugin to change the sound. So you can just change the sound from this sampler. You can do a lot of with it from this sampler. So even if you have a snare, same thing. Can you see? Can you see the waveform of this snare? I also have another snare here. Can you see the waveform of this? Can you see the waveform of this as well? So first thing I want to show you is the envelope. Let's say you want to work on the attack, the decay, the release, the sustain of particular sound. So the envelope can help you do this. It can help you do this to modify the sound to sound more better. This is where you are using 808 Bs, and the 808 is not really giving you the sound, or it has long transients and you want to change it, you want to modify it. You can always come to this particular place where it says envelope. So you can modify the sound with the envelope. Now let me look for one 808 sound here. Okay, I have this 808 bass. If I want it to play properly and I don't want too much transients on it, I can just come to my envelope and begin to work on it. So now let me make this work properly. So the first thing I need to do, if you want it to sound properly, if you want to use a better 808 on your sound using the sampler, the first thing you need to do is just make sure the attack is very, very fast. The attack is fast now. Can you see the attack? It's starting immediately I touch the note. So also you can shift the hold, make the hold a bit bigger. You can sustain it. You can increase the decay if you want it long, depending on the kind of project you're working on, depending on the kind of genre you're working on. You can sustain it. You can increase the release. So when you increase the release, give it this long tail. Yeah, I think I like that. If I'm working on any project like hip hop, Afrobeat, I think this 808 sounds very, very good for me just by controlling the envelope. If the note is clashing with your kick and you want clarity between your kick and your 808, you can always use this shift like a little bit milliseconds. You can just set it like that so that you can have this shift and clarity of sound between your kick and your 808. So I do this a lot. If I see that there's a clash between my kick and my 808, I'll just come here, come to the setting, this one that has the malicious function. You can just do the shifting and it will shift. You hear a bit of clarity between your kick and your 808. Instead of using a side chaining, this will do is a side chaining by itself. So it will give room for the kick before it comes in. Also, I want to show you another thing. Another thing I want to show you that the Pro does using this sampler is the pitch. The pitch, you can change the pitch of this sound. This is the kick. This is how it sounds. You can reduce the pitch or increase the pitch. You can hear that. Another thing you can do with this sampler is to control the long sound you normally have on the sample. It's called transient, or the release that you have on a sample, and you can use this knob, this out knob, to do this. Can you see it's shortening the release? So let me look for something that has a little bit of transience. Yeah, like this. If I don't want the transience of this snare, so I can just come here where it says out and shorten the release. And it sounds very, very sharp. So what other things can you do? So there is this function that I want you to know. Very, very important. If you come to this place, this way that says setting pre-computed effects. So where you have this pre-computed effects, that is where a lot of things is hidden. A lot of things is hidden here, and pay attention. You are going to learn a lot of from here. You see, when immediately I open it, you can see some new knobs. And what does this do? You can boost this sound. In case you are having, where you are having sound that is not really sounding at the top or is not matching the level of other sound, instead of you going to your mixer and putting it up from there, you can manage the sound from here. Okay, let me show you now. There is a snare I have here. It's a very, very short snare, like it's not that up there. You can come to the pre-computed effect and I can boost the sound. If I boost the sound, can you see the sound is being boosted and you can hear it more. So what else can you do? You can EQ it. Another thing that you need to know that the Pro does is you can add reverb to your sound. Let's say you are having a weak snare. There are some genres of song that you might feel like the snare is not filling the space, or the sound you want, the particular sound you want to use, you want it to fill the space. Instead of you going to your mixer and adding some reverb, you can do it even from your sampler in FL Studio. So this is the reverb. You can turn the reverb on. Can you see? Can you see? It's added some reverb and it filled the space. If you want the same sound to be heard left and right of your speakers or of your headphone, you can stereo delay the sound. If I turn on the stereo delay, it will make this sample to sound from my left and right. Let me turn this back to 0% to the center. So now it is sounding from the center. So let me stereo delay it. You will hear how it is sound. If you are using a good earphone, you will hear this. Can you see? It is wide now. It is sounding from my wide ears, left and right. So you can hear that. So another thing that you can do is to program. You can program it, and this program is is one of those things that I use to make my samples. I can get samples, like for instance, this particular kick. If I want to change this and I want to turn it another kind of kick, I can come to the pre-computed effect and use this program to change how it sounds. Can you see? It's changing the waveform and it should change the sound as well. Can you see that the sound is changing? Can you see how it sounds? Let's say I want to make a new sample from this particular kick. If I increase this program, it changes the waveform and it gives me a new kick sound entirely. Can you see? In case I'm looking for a kick and I can't find it, I can use this program to do this, and trust me, you enjoy this. Trust me, your kick is ready, and you can just boost the sound. If you don't want to boost too much from here, if you can always come to the settings as well, and you increase the volume from here. Can you see? You can do this with a snare as well. So these are the things that you need to come and play with using FL Studio Sampler. Most pro producers use this a lot in their beat making to make their samples sound very very great even before sending it to the mixer to mix. So those are the things you can do. Let's say you have this hi-hat and you are not enjoying it, you can just come to the program, you can change the sound. Can you see? And you see it's tighten it a bit just with the program. You can sterilize it, sounding from my wide ears. You can add reverb to it. Very very sweet. So FL Studio Sampler is here to do a lot for you. So now let me move to another interesting thing, and this is all about loop. This is all about loop. With your sampler, you can always do a lot with it. So let me just let me look for some drum loops here. So let me search for some loops. As you can see, this loop does not fit to the metronome, does not fit to the BPM of this project. So let me change my BPM to around 110. Still yet, it does not fit. Your sampler can fix this for you very easily. Double click it and it will open the sampler. So here we have the time, we have the mode. So what does the time does for you? Help you to restretch a sample, probably a loop sample, drum sample, guitar sample, melody samples. Help you to restretch it. And if you cannot use the time stretching, you can always use the resampled stretching. You have another mode. We have other modes of stretching a particular sound. Okay, with what I'm hearing and what I can see from this, so as someone that has been in this game, I can hear and listen, and this is what you need to practice as well as a beginner. Always practice to listen to your sample and to your metronome, where it is, if it is getting closer to matching, syncing together. So for what I can hear, I feel like it is a bit faster than 110. That is why it is shortened in length. It remains few seconds to meet up to a 4-bar loop. So what I can do with this now is just to duplicate. It will bring out my sample, and I can come to the time mode. If I right click this time and go to 4 bars, you will see. Let me do it again. So if I right click and go to 4 bars, you see like it's reach 4 bar, it's complete 4 bar. And let me play it now if it will match to my metronome now. Let's see. 100% it match. That is the work of your sampler. You can always use the time mode to stretch any sample. Let's do this with another sample. This is a shaker loop, and with the look of things, let me play. Is a bit faster than the metronome. So with the look of things, what I can see and what I can hear, I know that it's a 2-bar shaker loop. So all I just need to do, double click it and come to my time and say 2 bars, and you see that it will match the time. Let's play together. So now let me delete these 2 loops and I'll bring them again. So first, let me start with this shaker loop. I want to show you another method that you can use using your same sampler to do this. Can you see that it did not match again? It did not match again. So I already know because it is closer and closer to the time. I know that this is a 2-bar loop. So all I just need to do is just come here and I will come to my mode. So I'll come to stretch. If I come to stretch, I can stretch this. If I come to stretch, if I come to stretch mode, I can just come to my time and shift it to time. Can you see? Can you see? So now I've put it in stretch mode. Instead of me right clicking to say 4-bar, 2-bar, I'll not do that again. I'll just click on this. I'll just move this knob until it gets 2 bars. So very simple. This is how you can use your sampler. So you can pitch your sound, you can pan your sound from here, you can stretch your sound to fit the tempo with your sampler, and from your pre-computed effects, you can do a lot with the sound. You can do a lot with the sound. Even on the time mode, this Stretch Pro, you can use it on vocal sound. Let me look for a vocal sample and show you how. Let's say you want a robot sound, you can use this. Okay, let's use the vocal sample. So, and you want to turn it to something like a robotic sound. So if you come to the mode, Stretch Pro, and you turn it down, and you turn this format down, you hear it sound.
Stop. And when she turns, she want me to on top, on top. Tell me say she never ever want stop, stop. And when she turns, she want me to on top, on top.
Can you see? You have changed the format of the sound. So this is what you can do with your sampler. I've used this Stretch Pro a lot in different projects.
Tell me say she never ever want stop.
Stop. I want you to she want me to on top.
Can you see?
On top.
Can you see? Changing the format. So these are all the things you need to know that the pros use using FL Studio Sampler. The last thing I would like to show you using FL Studio Sampler that you might not know. Let's say we have a loop. Let me look for a drum loop. So let me look for a drum loop that has. Okay, can you see this is a drum loop? And look at it. Let's say I don't want to use everything in this loop. Let's say I don't want to use everything in this loop, and I just want to use probably the kick alone. So I can just zoom. So I can just zoom. I'll zoom to. Sorry. So I'll just want. So this is. I think I can see the kick. So this is the kick. Yeah, that is the kick. Can you see? I've been able to pick out the kick alone, and I'll put it to yeah. Then I can work on it. I can resample it. I can boost it. So this is secret that you don't know. Let's say I have a loop. I don't want to use that loop. I just want to use one particular thing out of it. I can just use this to get out my sample. So this is beautiful, and these are those things that the Pro does with FL Studio Sampler. And I believe you have learned 1 or 2 lessons from this video today. If you have learned 1 or 2, kindly hit the subscribe button now, like this video, and comment for the next thing you want to learn. See you in the next video.